I'm shit. Hello everyone, welcome to the Deep Drop for another episode. I'm Luke McCredden. With me, as always, Adam Ring. Adam, this is a fishing podcast, so if people are new here, why don't you go ahead and explain what it is that we do on the Deep Drop?
The Deep Drop podcast is like something you'd find in Borat. It's very nice. No good.
Wow, that's different. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, I don't feel good about myself.
It was great. I loved it. Well done. Well, there you go. Thanks for listening, everyone.
I don't feel good about it.
It's good. Welcome, everyone. If you are new here, that's just a little insight into the mind of Adam Ring. We don't quite know what we're going to get week to week,
Not
and
proud of that.
that's no exception. But if you are new, welcome. It's great to have you on board. We're well into the 120s now, ads, and it's fair to say, just getting started. We're just getting started.
Settling into a nice long innings, I feel, Luke.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. It was nearly left one that went straight onto the stumps with the intro, but it's all good.
But the ball's not swinging now. It's a flat pitch. It's a fast outfield. We are ready to go tonight.
We're ready.
If you've been around for the journey, welcome back and thank you. Hats off to everyone that's listening, new or existing, I suppose. I'm going to say old, but let's not use, let's not throw around sort of ageist remarks.
We've got that here.
We've got plenty to talk about tonight, and I can't wait. But straight off the bat, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who got involved during the week. We said, well, it wasn't another it wasn't a Powerade gate again, but it was certainly our top six from last week fired up a bit of a conversation, mostly positive and excitement is what I would say. 90s sitcoms. It's just a great time to be alive back then.
And there were some bangers in the 90s.
Yeah,
so flat out bangers.
I just wanted to shout out a few people, and I won't go through them all because there were a million, but there were a few more suggestions to add to the list. Alf.
Oh, what did we miss?
Alf.
Yep.
Married with Children.
Yeah, it's good.
Also, Urkel was called Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Yeah. And then another one that I just went, it just took me back. Dinosaurs. Do you remember Dinosaurs?
Oh, yeah.
It was a full what would you call it, like puppet or like costume.
Yeah.
Like it was different for its time, especially.
But I remember it clearly.
Yeah,
it was
same.
awesome.
There was a little baby who used to sit on the shoulders of the smartass.
Yeah.
Was it Family Guy before its time? Think about it.
Ooh.
Fat Dad,
Stewie,
the smartass little baby. Shit. There was there was definitely a daughter and a son.
Precursor.
Oh my God.
Okay. Did we just work something out?
Did we just crack something in Hollywood?
God damn.
All right. Also, just I suppose a few comments on... Well, actually, lack of comments on the why a flathead called lizards, because no one knows.
Because no one knows.
No one knows.
Yeah.
We did have a few photos of... and shout out to people who sent some photos in comparing the flathead that they'd caught this week to then a picture from Google of a lizard. No comparison whatsoever.
Point proven.
So, yeah, I think the proof is in the pudding of lack of feedback on that one.
Yep.
So thank you, everyone. And just on that note, socials, Instagram is a great way to get in touch with us, and we appreciate all the messages throughout the week. I say it every week, keep them coming. They are building, and I apologise if I don't get back to people straight away, but it is it's a busy space now, and I love it. So don't stop. Instagram, The Deep Drop, find the logo, get in touch, give it a follow, share it with your friends. And obviously, we've branched out this year into TikTok, bit of YouTube action. You can get involved on Spotify, leave comments.
So it's pretty hard not to get involved. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. And another shout out to the folks that like to just jump on the old school web, thedeepdrop.au, and just flick an email.
Yep.
Love that. Keep that coming. But speaking of website, Adam, it's a place to find a lot of things.
The merch, and when we talk merch, we're talking, obviously, Luke, by now, everybody knows the greatest combo known to man, the hat and stubby holder. You're very nicely rocking the cap tonight.
Thank you very much.
I like it a lot. We're both rocking the stubby holder, which we'll get to in just a second.
Yep.
Head on over to deepdrop.au have a look at the greatest combo on earth, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Wow. It's not a thought. It's a guarantee. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. It's an automatic 5-star review.
A few went out the door this week, Ads. So massive thank you and shout out to everyone for jumping on and picking up some merch. Love that. And looking forward to seeing the hat in different scenarios. So if you're rocking that hat, or stubby holder for that matter, flick us a message, flick us a photo, or tag us in your photos on social media and just tell us where the brand is. What's the brand doing at the moment?
It's taking over the country. That's what's happening right now.
Going on. All right, beautiful. So the deepdrop.au and all the socials. Now, Adam, you mentioned the stubby holder. It's firmly wrapped around a cold can at the moment on my desk, and over on your desk looks a similar situation.
Yep.
We asked the question the other day. Give us some suggestions for drink of the week, and boy, did the suggestions roll in, Ads. Love them all. Just we're not going to do Jaeger bombs just yet. But
we'll save that. We'll save that for a special occasion.
We'll be doing them. We'll be doing them.
It's happening. Hey, we can't ignore the people, Luke, because the community's growing. They will not be ignored, but the Jaeger bomb's going to have to wait.
Absolutely. So what we've gone with tonight on the back of a suggestion from Marty Phillips, Marty, shout out, thank you very much for sending this suggestion through, is something I don't typically have, and that is alcoholic ginger beer, Ads, and the 4X variety. So I don't know. Yeah, okay, ready?
Fuck, I can't open it. There we go. It's not a good start.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We should have counted it down.
Headed that out.
All right, let's have a go.
Cheers to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I rate it.
I don't hate it. Hang on, I'm going back for round 2.
I don't associate ginger beer with being refreshing. That's actually all right,
actually
isn't it?
is a bit, yeah. I'm rating that.
That's
okay.
That's way too easy to drink.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. How many alcoholic ginger beers can you have in a session, do you reckon? I don't feel like it's a massive.
Do you know what? I think it would be a really nice palate cleanser.
Okay.
You know, when you just need to change up the taste a little bit. You know, if you're having a session on the beers.
Just as a breaker, a bit of
just a little palate reset.
Yeah, okay. A mid
because you're right. I think a long session on them might get sickening pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like it. Thanks, Marty, and thanks everyone for sending them through. We're going to get now. Just note that we have saved the list of drinks suggested, and we will most definitely get through them at some point. And if we don't get through them by the end of the year, it's going to be one hell of a Christmas party, Ads.
Yes, it is.
I
look forward to it already.
If you've got a drink in mind that you want to see featured on Drink of the Week, please send it through because we'll have a crack. But that's pretty good, Ads.
I like it. Will it go into the rotation for you at home in the beer fridge?
Potentially.
Will you have just a cheeky 6-pack of ginger beer sitting in there just every now and then go, oh, yeah?
It's new to me.
Yeah,
it's new to me. So I just need to, like I said, I'm enjoying it. So I'll make that call probably later after, I've got a couple of them sitting here. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see how we go. That's great. All right, beautiful. Let's roll on. But Jesus Christ, it tastes so much better being in that bright green stubby holder, Ads.
Just like everything. Life's better with a green stubby holder. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, yes. Righto. Let's get on with the show. We're ready to go now. We are locked in and loaded.
Luke, I've got something for you straight off the top.
Oh, for a minute, I thought you meant gift. And I was a little bit excited, but no.
Definitely not a gift.
Damn
it. Now, this is strictly a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
I've never been in this situation. Just something that popped... Well, it didn't quite pop into my head. It was a conversation I had with a very good old friend of mine who we recently celebrated our 40th birthdays together. I've literally known him my entire life. Shout out, DC. So strictly a hypothetical situation. Him and I were discussing it over the campfire last weekend.
Perfect scenario. Perfect scenario, by the way. That is where the Deep Drop originates, the campfire.
Yes. That's right. And
Yeah.
I thought this is perfect to bring up on the pod. So strictly hypothetical situation. Luke,
Yep.
say you and I, actually, say two buddies decided that you were going to go for a beach fish
Yeah.
at night with the aspirations of catching a gummy shark.
Okay.
So decisions made, plans are set, cruise down to the beach, everything looks all right, a little bit of weed floating around, but not too bad. Rod set, darkness falls, game on.
Yes.
One party out of the two needs to take off for a cheeky piss.
Yeah.
While he's gone, his rod starts getting a little nibble.
Ooh. Okay.
So in this situation, being the party that's not pissing, what do they do? Do they run off, leaving both rods unattended to find said friend and give him a quick heads up that he's going to have to finish with a solid power piss because his rod's going off?
Yeah.
Or because stopping once you've started is not an option, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Or do you monitor closely, silently anticipating the return of said friend and kind of give him the hurry up as you see him walking back down the dunes? Or do you just grab the rod and wind in and claim
the fishing
you were
rod.
gone?
Yeah.
That's on you. Yeah, correct. It should specify it.
Reword that next time, please, Adam. Wow.
So what's the go? So
Okay.
what do you do? Do you let it go? Do you grab it? What's going on?
Can I address something in this hypothetical that's not directly answering it, and I will get to my answer. Nighttime at the beach, assuming the situation is you're probably the only two in that vicinity. Why are you walking off into the dunes for a piss? You get where I'm coming from?
It's a good question.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's not what this is about. So
that's okay.
That's one part of it. Secondly, wow, I think there's a few elements to take into account here. If you try and be the nice guy and let the rod do its thing and hope that your mate comes back in time, potential to lose a fish.
Or a rod.
Or a rod for that matter. But, so you for the sake of the team, because at the end of the day, you sort of walk off that beach at the end of your session and go, oh, we did all right, we got a couple of fish or, whatever. If you sat there and watched that rod just get torn to shreds and you lose the fish, it's kind of on you a bit. Because if the pisser comes back and says, well, why didn't you grab it, mate? Like, it was right there. You know what I mean?
I feel as though you're in a no-win situation.
You can't. I don't think you can win in that situation, because if you and I would expect the rod to be grabbed. If I was the person in the dunes.
So if you were the pisser,
yeah,
and you came back, and hypothetically speaking, I was holding a nice gummy. But you would have noticed that my rod is unharmed and sitting in a rod holder with bait still in the water.
I'd accept it.
Would you be happy to? Am I allowed to claim that fish? Yeah. So that's the second part. Am
hang
I
on, that's the second part. That's the second part, because there's elements.
Am I allowed? Yeah. Am I allowed? Well, strictly hypothetically speaking,
yeah, you landed
would
it.
I be able to claim it?
But I did the bait presentation. I did the cast. I set the drag. I put the rod in the holder. You just wound it in, mate. You're basically on a charter. You know what I'm saying? I would. If we're being serious for a minute, I would be happy for you to have taken the rod, brought in that fish, landed said fish, and then let's celebrate together. Let's do it as a team. Don't worry about it. Now, going back 20 years, 7 or 8 cans in, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? That's my rod. You can't bloody claim that. So I don't know. Yeah. I think, but that's looking at it from the pisser perspective, from the person standing there thinking, what do I do? I think I'm monitoring the closely. Mm-hmm. And if I think that is now buckled or that hook needs to be set, I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it for the team. I feel because I would just feel weird about watching this rod just get loaded up and just stand there going, oh well, he's not back. Too bad.
Yeah, that's right. Waiting for your mate that's taken a piss is like fishing with circle hooks. You're sitting there. Should I get it?
No, it's.
Should I let it? Should I let it go? Like, should I get it? Should I wind it in now? When do I start winding?
It's not
it?
even a question for me now. The more that I think about it, of course you're grabbing it. You should grab it. But that's me. So obviously there's going to be a lot of different thoughts and opinions out there. And by all means, the Deep Drop community, chime in here.
I feel as though this is one of the tougher questions that's been brought to the table because I don't know. This is 2 weeks in a row that a question's been posed that I don't actually know the answer to because what my head and my heart say are two completely different things.
Well, what's your head saying?
My head's saying fucking grab it.
Yeah.
But my heart's saying don't know how many people you can tell about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, okay, here's third part. Third situation. Tell me if this is where this ranks on the offensive scale. Say you took off for a piss. Your rod goes off. I grab it, wind it in. You come back and get a photo with it.
I don't think I'd do that. I don't think I'd say, hey, pass it over here. I'd just be...
It's technically mine.
Because... Nah, yeah, I don't...
It's a very awkward situation, isn't it? Because either way, whoever's posing for the fish doesn't really seem like they deserve it.
It's true.
So maybe the answer is person pissing, rod goes off. Whoever's not pissing just leans over and cuts it off. It's no one's fish.
That's not an option. That's not an option. That's not a logical option. No one wins in that situation.
Or depending on how many cans deep, directly contributes to the length of said piss.
Yeah.
If you've got time to wind in, suss out size, and free spool back. Think you got a bite, mate.
I reckon you might be on there. Grab it. Bet you it's an undersized dummy. Looks a little bit undersized. And then you really fuck with them by going, reckon it's about 72 centimetres. Meanwhile, you've laid it out on the fish mat already.
got a couple of cheeky pics and free spooled it back.
Oh yeah, see the way it's fighting. I reckon it's got a bit of a nick in its dorsal fin. It's just causing it to, and then it comes up and it's exactly as you explained it.
It's like, well, it's not really playing up, is it?
It's doing much. It's tired.
Yeah, so tough one.
I don't think cutting it off's not an option. I'm sorry. I think you got to.
No, I agree with that. It's not cutting it off.
No, I look at this as a team perspective, and it's a team win. So, mate, it's like anything, I suppose.
But it's always a team win until
it's
the fish is on the beach.
Yeah. What if you go, all right, let's each get a photo with it. You hold it pointing that way and I'll hold it pointing the other, and we each caught a fish. If anyone asks. Yeah.
So every scenario there seems to be a little bit of non-acceptable fuckery.
A little bit, yeah.
Isn't it an awkward situation?
It shouldn't be, but it kind of is.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
But you know what though? You did bring something up at the start that has swayed my thinking a little bit. What'd you fuck off for a piss for?
You're on the beach.
Mate? We're all friends here.
At night. No one's there.
Just turn your back, down.
Stand. You should be in arm's reach
away.
of your rod. Fishing rod. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I'd never thought of that. That's actually a great point.
And the more I think about it, the fact that he's wandered off to hide in the dunes for a piss, he doesn't deserve that fish.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking, of course.
So I don't know. But you're right. Just come on, mate. Like, you're on the beach at night fishing. Tide's going to wash it away.
Yeah, Oh, well,
it's the beach.
It's the beach.
So that's where I'm at with it. I hope that answers your hypothetical. It's a good hypothetical. It's a challenging one mentally, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on in a seemingly innocent scenario, but has dire consequences depending on how you decide to play it out for both pisser and, innocent bystander, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting one. I'd love to hear the community's thoughts. Feel as though it needs clarification, just in case, because, again, I don't want to stress the point too much. It's strictly hypothetical. It would be interesting to know if that situation ever presented itself, how I would choose to react on both sides of the coin.
From either party. All right. Okay, good. Well, let us know. I mean, we need some input from the community here for sure. Hey, Ads, I want to open up a bit. I feel this is a space. The Deep Drop's a safe space, isn't it? To be vulnerable.
It's a safe space. Yeah, safe.
And we encourage the community to open up and be vulnerable when the time allows.
Well, it's a community, Luke. We gather around each other and we support and encourage.
I thought something we lack a bit on the Deep Drop is the opportunity to express what could be considered as confessional ads. You know, just putting it out there. It might be, maybe you had a shit whiting session. You kept the first one on the ice and thought this is going to be great, and that's all you got. So on the way back in, you kind of dropped it back in the water after 3 hours on the ice. You know it's not going to swim away. But
frozen and released.
Maybe you made up a really shitty excuse why you didn't go fishing because you just couldn't be fucked. I think we've all been in so many scenarios, and I just want to make sure that everyone out there listening knows that there's an opportunity to open up on the Deep Drop. And Ads, I've got something to open up about tonight, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, hang on. Let me get get comfortable.
Please.
Let me have a sip.
Adam, we've been collectively in this industry for a long time. Combined, it's probably 40 years.
Yep.
If you think about it.
It's a long time.
And, we've been fortunate enough to see a lot of things. The tackle industry is something we love to death. And, you only have to look around in either of our houses or garages to know that we've got enough fishing gear to sink a small boat.
Yep.
So all the time in said industry and all the time on the water fishing, and we've spent countless hours on the water fishing. It's gotten to this point, and I've realised that when it comes to a bait caster, I'm still really shit. And I feel like I should be better. And it bothers me.
Well, there's no need to feel like that, Luke.
But I do.
I think it's something that we live in a subpar state when it comes to having to use a bait cast. Actually, I take that back. We live in a subpar part of said state of Victoria where bait casters aren't really needed. I think you're being hard on yourself. Yeah, I think
it keeps me up at night, Ads.
I think you. Yeah, but there's no need. There's ways at which you can practice.
This is true.
Get better.
I feel like I needed a bit of confirmation that it's okay.
Well, I'd be more surprised if you were shit with a spin reel.
That would be a problem. And hey, at times I am.
So it could always be worse. So talk me through this. I feel as though this needs to be unpacked a little bit because I'm trying to be here as a friend, as a community member. What's happened? What's made you really start to be mind fucked by a baitcaster?
Late last year, Ads, you I suppose you and I spoke about kitting ourselves up a bit with a couple of baitcast outfits from a really light sort of option to use for a bit of anything, really, estuary, in the bays, whatever, squid jigs, and then something a bit, I guess more traditional for your cod, yellow belly sort of barra type thing. So I went out and got myself some 13 fishing reels. Beautiful reels, by the way. I know that you are rather partial to the old 13 reels.
Good choice.
And gosh, so excited, Adam. Got them on the rods that I'd chosen, and got some line on them, and thought this is going to be great. I'm heading out into the back. I'm heading out into the backyard just to get my eye in. And within 3 or 4 minutes, ads, I went, wow, I'm shit. Now, I should say, it's not something I've ever. Like, obviously, of overhead reels, but more for, not so much casting, but overhead, whether they be game or jigging or whatever. So I kind of just thought, whatever. But no, not whatever, ads. I'm just not skillful in that area.
Well, I think you'll find straight off the bat that if you were to take those skills and that practice and apply them to water rather than the fucking lawn, I find water's a little bit more forgiving when it comes to something landing on it. And I also feel, because I have mucked around in the past with, I remember getting out the front of the shop, Luke, on a Sunday afternoon when everyone was at home getting ready for work. And we'd put on a casting plug and just have a flick around on the lawn. It's not a comfortable space to be casting a bait caster. It sounds good in theory to get out there and have a practice, but you lose the romance of actually fishing. You lose all forms of coolness that comes with using a bait caster, which I think is a factor that doesn't get spoken about or not. Using a bait caster is fucking cool, and I don't care who says otherwise.
I think this is where
you lose it when you're not near the water.
I think this is a bit of where my guilt, well, I won't say guilt, but, guilt of, in some way, of it comes from, because I love watching really highly skilled bait cast anglers. It's an art form, and it's a learned skill. Like, these people do it. That's what they've probably always done. But it's impressive. It's like, I want to be a part of that. I want to get some of that. I'm a long way away, ads. It's okay. Is it okay? I just need some reassurance here. Okay.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's perfectly okay, and it's understandable.
So my confessional comes with a bit of a goal. So it's not we're not talking monthly reso here. We've done them for the month. I'm talking just in general. I'm going to put in some practice. Maybe I'll journal it. Maybe baitcast diaries. I don't know.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
I need to put in some time, because I don't want to come back here in 6 months' time or in 12 months' time and say the same thing in the booth.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That feels good. I feel good.
And
I feel good about getting that off my chest.
Zero judgment here.
So just keep at it.
Because, again, keep at it, but maybe try it on water. I think you'll find it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's probably...
you were taking the piss out of the bait caster. The bait caster was taking the piss out of you. That's kind of where I sit with it.
All right.
I think you'll be right.
That's where I'm at then. That's what I'll focus on.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Hey, we need to get to... Now, I know management... There's a lot going on in that space at the moment, Ed, so we're not going to go down that... open that can of worms right now. But there was a message left in the studio this morning just saying, make sure you play the new spono. So I'll dive in. I have no idea what it is. Haven't heard it. It is set in the bank, ready to be played. So without further ado, here we go. New spono.
G'day there, Cecil here. As an older gentleman, it's not always easy to get a stiff rod. I find my rods from yesteryear are a lot softer these days than the modern younger kids' rods that are nice and stiff and firm. When I speak to the other guys at the bowls club, they have the same problem. Their rods are soft too, just like mine. So I went on the lookout for somewhere that could provide me with a harder rod, and that's when I came across Stiff Sticks. Stiff Sticks is exactly what I needed. Now I'm fishing with a stiff and hard rod all the time. My wife loves it because I'm not complaining anymore, so she's happy. And down at the bowls club we sit around comparing our stiff sticks. So do yourself a favour and go onto the internet there and have a look at Stiff Sticks. It's something that any older gentleman who's into fishing could really find useful.
Wow, Stiff Sticks. Ads.
Sounds like Cecil's rocking a Black Queen from yesterday.
Sounds like it. It's certainly no ugly stick anymore. It is a Stiff Sticks. I hadn't heard of that rod brand up until now, I must admit.
I think it's got a future, Luke.
Future. Certainly honed in at a particular demographic, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Didn't.
Well, fishing's for everybody, Luke. It doesn't discriminate against age, and I'm glad that there is now some product out there that helps maybe some of the older generation get into lure fishing specifically. I feel as though Stiff Sticks is something designed at helping that older demographic still progress their fishing career, even in the twilight of their own career.
Yeah, I think so. That's good. It's helping everyone. Well, Stiff Sticks. I hadn't heard of them. Check it out. But there you go. So
there you go.
We won't knock back any sponos here, will we?
No. No, everybody's welcome.
Hey, I've got a question for you, Ads. In amongst the various sort of sorts of fishing you and I both do, and it's always something I think about, but I don't think I've ever really raised it with you. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it, and as I am hear the thoughts from the community, because it might be one where there is no right or wrong answer, but I'd just like to put the feelers out and find out where you're at with it. Where do you sit when it comes to being careful or conscious and cautious of noise when you're on the water fishing? So I know you do a lot in your kayak, Ads. And a little bit even, this even goes for land-based anglers as well, or in the boat, doesn't matter. Are you careful to not make noise? And by that I mean sort of dropping things in the water like an anchor or bashing along a riverbank too much in your boots, or banging and crashing in your tinny, or is it not an issue? Am I overthinking it? Because I can't help but think you grow up being told, don't bloody splash the water, you'll scare the fish away. And it's kind of somehow stayed in the back of my mind forever. Is it a thing? Do we need to be worried about that? Is it case by case?
The answer is probably case by case, but I'll talk on experience and my own way of thinking about it. I've never really thought too much about it, and there's a couple of reasons for that. I feel as though if I'm fishing out of a boat, well, they can't fucking hear me anyway. If I'm fishing in a kayak, I don't really have an option to be loud, because if I'm loud, it generally means I've fallen out. And the only time it's ever crossed my mind is maybe land-based fishing in a stream where I'm walking, like physically having to walk in the water. It's the only time I think about it, but you kind of can't really help it. I mean, if anyone can walk in the water and not make noise, you're practically a ninja.
Fishing ninja. And when I say loud, like it doesn't necessarily mean vocally, but it could be, in your kayak, banging your paddle on the side of your kayak accidentally, or pedaling or grabbing a rod out and it bangs some tackle boxes on the thing, or in a tinny, stepping down off a casting deck and banging into the, So there's all that, but
yeah. Nah, never ever once occurred to me that I might have just cooked that snag because I stepped too hard off the cast.
Because I reckon there'd be cases where it's almost the opposite. Maybe a bit of noise and commotion might stir things up a little bit in a positive way.
Well, it's interesting because do you think about that at all when a lure hits the water?
No, and I'm glad you said that, because one of the reasons I thought about this topic was the size of some of the lures kicking around at the moment, and lures for that are targeted and designed for, in a lot of cases, shallowish water or quiet waterways. Mate, when they hit the deck, when they hit the water, it makes a fair commotion. And if you liken that to the noise of a stick or a rock hitting the water, it's not much quieter. Like, it's pretty similar.
It's an interesting thing, because I feel as though in the wild, fish are going to be used to stuff falling in the water. Now, whether that's, again, something falling off a tree, whether that's a lizard or some sort of lizard, not flathead, a lizard, land-dwelling lizard.
Thanks for clarifying.
Jumps in the water to grab something, or a shag is sitting on a log and has a shit. They're used to things. They're used to things hitting the water, so I don't feel as though lures are a big... Do you know what, though? A thought that has crossed my mind. How confused do you think a fish gets when a lure hits the water and then swims off immediately. Do they think that fish are like falling from the sky?
That's a good
Like other fish?
That's a really good point. If a fish is in the area to see that lure hit the water, which is imitating a fish, and then watch it swim immediately
and then it just
away.
takes off.
Is there a moment where it sits there and goes,
it,
what the fuck just happened there? Where did he come from?
Yeah. Like splash hits the water and then you click into gear and start slow winding. It literally starts swimming off like nothing happened, mind you, as soon as it's hit the water.
That's bizarre. I'd never thought about it like that.
But is there maybe some proof that's been staring at us right from the start that it does make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you think you've cast and you've been hit without working the lure?
Yeah.
So say a soft plastic, for example, you launch a plastic up onto a laydown or into a snag, and as soon as the lure hits the water and you let it sink, you actually get a bump and you're on before you impart
100%,
any action.
all the time.
So you do get hit or you don't.
I do.
No shit.
That happens. Well, all the time is probably an exaggeration, but it's definitely happened. Whether it be...
Oh, it's definitely happened. But generally speaking, would you?
No, it's not.
Would you get more hit? Would you get more hits straight off the bat, or after your first twitch?
After it, you impart some action. But yeah,
Oh yeah, it's like definitely.
Yeah,
it has happened. I'm saying it never happens, but does the fish need a sec?
yeah. Just to take a moment to go. All right, what's that one? Okay,
What the fuck's
it's not a
happening
stick.
here?
Because how many like leaves and sticks do they eat? Do you know what I mean? Accidentally and go, oh,
By accident. That's also a great question. Probably more than what you'd think.
like fishing. Oh man, there's a heap of different species that thinking estuary or freshwater, like flathead, not lizard, flathead.
Flathead.
Brim, perch, bass, trout to a degree. How many? Because you'd have to think that there'd be moments where they, it might be a twig falls out of a tree, there's a bit of wind and pushes it across the water, and they just eat it. Because when you think about some of the lures that you cast, the just surface or just subsurface or whatever, give it a few twitches and then you hook up. Like, surely that's a very small amount of time for them to go, yeah, that's fucking food.
Well, I wonder what if there's two fish sitting on a snag and something falls off a tree and one fish commits. Do you reckon the other one goes, what the fuck are you
I
doing?
reckon there's a moment where one of them goes, you go. Yeah. I ate before, mate. You're right. You go.
Eat that.
That's definitely food. It's got a leaf stuck to
That's
it.
definitely
No,
not
that's
a
thing.
stick.
Eat it.
Nah, it's definitely not. That's definitely not a stick.
It's not a timber. Bit of timber. Eat it. Definitely eat it.
Do you also think, because I've had one, I remember this, it was a long time ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. We were fishing the canals on the Gold Coast for brim, and we were actually using those, do you know those Eco Gear Aqua, like just, I guess they're like a prawny type imitation, but they don't have anything on them. They're just like a dead stick bait.
Yes.
We were using those, the white ones only, and cutting them in half. And we were specifically looking for cormorants that were sitting on. There were like these barriers in the canals. I don't know what they were for, but they would kind of keep anything from going into the bank. And these cormorants would sit on them. And the point was to cast this white lure under them because the brims sit under there and eat the shag shit as they
your soft
drop
baits
it.
were imitating shit.
Shit. But that's not my question.
It's a fun fact, though.
Do you think a brim gets an upset stomach when that happens?
But why are they doing it? Why do you keep doing it if it's not making you feel good? They don't think about that. They don't think about that.
Who wants to eat shit?
Brim. Must be there must be something in it that they go, oh yeah, here we go. Oof. Or is it just the reaction?
The reaction.
It's something new in the water. I'm gonna eat it.
Eat it.
But you can't tell me when you watch, you probably don't, fly fishing videos.
Yeah, no, definitely don't.
The really good quality ones where they've got that slow-mo and it shows the fly hitting the water and it drifting down for a few seconds or, a while, and then a trout rises and eats it. Or even just insects that are on the trout. Wicked footage, cool. But surely, that's incredible vision or knowledge to know that that's a bug or a fly on the water. Surely there's moments they go gulp and then go, oh, what the fuck is that? Pooh. It's just a bit of shit, or a bit of fluff or, rabbit fur.
So follow-up question.
Yeah.
Fly fishermen entering into potential wanker zone thinking that they've tricked a trout? Or are they just getting a reaction bite?
Oh, wow. This is a whole different topic that we shouldn't be playing in.
Correct.
I don't
But
know.
here we are.
Are they getting a reaction bite? A reaction from what? A piece of fluff floating down the river? Maybe.
I'm going to correct myself. I think that's probably a little bit unfair. I've spent, this is the 124th episode of the Deep Drop, and I think for 123 on them, I'm shit on fly fishermen. So I'm actually going to just pump the brakes a little bit. I think there's too many documented cases of fly fishermen having flies rejected until they match that hatch, so to speak, perfectly. So maybe I'm being unfair.
And when there is that hatch, they're pretty honed in, aren't they? Yeah,
They are.
pretty
Yeah,
dialed
they
in
are.
on that.
Yeah, you're not going to catch them on a spinner.
Don't know. You're not allowed to cast a spinner because the
Maybe.
fly fishers tell you to bugger off.
Hmm.
I'm only kidding. That's not fair either.
Yeah, they do because you
a
catch
bit.
too many.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the trout bite is. A trout intelligent? Have we ever spoken about that? Or is there a bit of just there's something?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that.
Because that's how they speak. There's something.
It's exactly.
There's another
how they
thing.
speak.
Boom.
Do you think brown trout and rainbow trout have
Don't
different
like each other,
accents?
I reckon. Yeah, no, completely. They're like
So is it like Crips and Bloods?
Thank you. It is. It's full gangster warfare.
Tupac
Yep.
and Biggie?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's they're wearing the colours, browns and rainbows. That's what it
Yeah.
is, and it's
That makes
Oh,
sense.
it's a violent world out there. Yeah, it's not one you want.
So if you catch a brown and a rainbow in the same stretch of water, have you just interrupted
Yep.
a turf war?
It's been
Yeah.
shit has been happening. Yeah,
Thought so.
and I would leave the river. I wouldn't keep fishing because you're in the middle of it. You don't want to be.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
dangerous
you don't want
place
to be part of that.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of nasty stuff happen. But yeah, because typically rainbows are not. You see them, you find them a lot more in the rapids and stuff, right? So are they
Yeah.
are they the more superior, sort of stronger of the two gangs?
Well, this is a great question because I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about that as you were talking just then, and for some reason, I landed in my brain that the browns are the badasses and the rainbows are the
You reckon?
pussies. Yeah, I don't know why though.
I don't reckon either of them.
I've got no reason.
I don't think
for
either of them are pussies. I think they're just.
Might be the pink
I feel
stripe.
like the Browns are your tough, protect the homeland type arrangement. I reckon rainbows are crazy. They're just like that. They'll just have a crack. You know what I mean? They're both
okay. No, I
tough
can
as
see that.
nails. But they're
But
just
tactically they're different.
like a rainbow swimming up a rapid to just attack the Browns is just the whole way up. Just go,
like full kamikaze style.
yeah.
Yeah, they're intimidating before they get there.
And they all secretly want to be an Atlantic salmon. You know, they're the gods. They're the ones that they all
that's who they pray
all
to
look up
before they go
They
into
all
battle.
look up to them, and they go, "We're never going to be that, but this is what God gave us.
But we're going,
We're going down swinging. We're fighting for brown.
Yeah.
We're fighting for rainbow. It's on. Yeah, it's brutal. You know.
It's tough world. Tough world.
And what happens when they hit that brackish water and, estuary perch all of a sudden show up, or brim? It's just...
I feel as though that's like, think way back when the world was only just being discovered, and you turn up to a new land and there's just people that you weren't expecting to see. I feel as though that's the brackish water bass or EB.
The brackish water. So they just stare at each other for a day or two. Going, what the fuck is that?
What's happening here? Who's going to react first? And then one just slowly.
Yeah,
backs
the brown's
away.
like, this is my turf, and then it goes, actually, you're pretty fucking big.
Or do you think the brackish water is like? It's kind of like the Siberia of the marine world. You don't venture into the brackish water because there's wild shit.
So if you're a marine species, estuarine species, you don't once you're in brackish, you don't come back.
It's the Wild West.
You're leaving the body bag.
There's those weird. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because once you're there,
yeah. So if you're that trout that's just getting the very first little bit of the tiniest little bit of salt flavor through the gills, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
Time to think about what I'm doing.
Equally, if you're
and then the saltwater species, they get the not as salty here. Maybe
feeling a bit lightheaded.
I just need to check. I need to check where I'm
feeling
at,
a bit lightheaded here. It's not as salty as it should be, but I'm kind of intrigued, and I want to continue upriver.
But I don't feel right.
And then 4 years
Something
later, it
feels
swims
off.
back down. It's scarred. Its fins are a bit fucked, and it comes back to its community. And the other brim are like, "Whoa, hang on.
What's going on
and it
here?"
just quietly enters the school again, and then sits around telling stories of the brackish.
You
know what I mean?
Those big old timer brim that have got like the fuck tails and they've got a few wounds, maybe that weird little scoop in the head. Some of
You
them
don't want to know what I've seen in the brackish. Tell us, Uncle Dave. I ain't telling you what I've seen in the brackish. Full damage.
Spends most of the day alone in the darkest corners.
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
snag.
Yeah. Fuck. It's a movie in that. The brackish.
Shit got a bit weird there, Luke.
Didn't answer my question. Thank you, Adam. But I'll throw it to
I can't even remember what the question was. I'm not going to
throw it
lie.
to the community. Look, just curious about how everyone feels about noise on the water while fishing. So whether you're land-based, in a boat, in a kayak, whatever,
Doesn't bother
you. Okay, it's bothering me less and less as I mature in my years, Adam. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
However, I'm conscious of it. So
Yeah.
but yes, tell us your thoughts. Noise on the water. Discuss. Okay, good. Well, look, I think we're in a position now where we're ready to play a pretty cool sting. Now, if you're not familiar, we were provided with what we're calling the best sting we've had on the show, outside of the intro, for some time, and it is to bring in the Deep Drop Top 6.
The Deep Drop.
Top 6. That's a big statement right there. How good's that?
That brings a smile to my face, Luke.
I could play. Well, you could. I wonder if we could put that on the Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
As we have kicked off what is the AFL football season here in Australia.
We have.
And it's great. It's good to have footy back. Yes, there was round 0 last week. That doesn't count. That was horseshit. We can all agree on that. I don't think anyone appreciated round 0. I don't think it'll ever come back.
Hope not.
And I thought, let's celebrate the AFL season kicking off with a top 6 shit AFL team names. And
You're in my wheelhouse, Luke.
And
I didn't have to think too hard about this one.
Okay, well, we can go through them. I'll let you start. But let's just preface this by saying, when you actually think about it, there's some weird names.
There is. So this is not about the teams that I dislike.
No.
This has got nothing to do about what I personally think of the team. We are literally just grading the shit mascots.
Yeah,
What are
just
they?
the nickname. I suppose we're not saying the city names or anything like that. It's the mascot
the city names are fine.
or the nicknames. Like,
Yeah.
So, and again, it's got nothing to do with the team themselves. It's just some weird ones.
Just a shit name.
And as always with the Deep Drop Top 6 ads, no particular order. So I don't want people thinking,
no particular
like
order.
last week there was some comments on, well, Seinfeld must be number 1. Yeah, maybe, but we didn't We didn't
Yeah, maybe.
stack them in order,
That's-
so
I'm just listing six
just
shit
listing
ones in this
six
case.
shit team names. So I'm happy to hand over to you to kick off, mate, if you're comfortable to.
I am, and I've got there was one that clearly came to mind first for me. And so number one, the Dockers of Fremantle. Because, like, the Dockers. These ones. Like the Dockers.
I know.
I don't think I need to explain
I don't know
myself.
if we'll put that in the Instagram clip.
Yeah, we should.
It's
I'll leave it there.
okay. You know what?
Average,
We'll leave it
average.
there. Okay, good. But yeah, no, great call. Number 2, the Blues. What the fuck's a blue?
Explain it to me.
I can't. It's a colour. Do we just list colours and just go, oh yeah, okay, the Townsville Greens? Like, I
Yeah.
don't.
Makes no sense.
So yeah, so I can't explain it for starters, and secondly, I don't get it. Explain it to me. It's weird. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a good one. Number 3, the Saints of St Kilda. Now, don't know about you, Luke, but I can't remember the last time I walked around St Kilda and saw a saint. So it makes no sense to me. I don't know how they come up with it, and I think it's a shit AFL mascot.
all right, okay, yeah. I don't think there's a heap of thought put into that one from St Kilda Footy Club. I like to think, sort of aggressive or inspirational type, names that kind of go, fuck yeah, because it's a physical game. It's a contact sport.
It's a game of intimidation.
Yes, thank you. So for me, number 4, Crows. Come on, it's a crow. Crows just annoy people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true.
Like
but a crow's a little bit eerie, a little bit frightening. I mean, granted, you're probably promoting a team. You're suggesting that your team's a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
But is there something intimidating in that?
I don't know. I'm not feeling it from the Crows. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about intimidating birds, what are those fucking big tall bastards that swoop you and go crazy when you're anywhere near them? Those stupid.
I was thinking of a plover.
Yeah, plover. Yeah, that's them.
They're not tall, but
aren't
they're
they?
those little annoying ones you see.
Yeah. And they just
you get near them and they
go
fucking
ya.
run after you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
plover. It should be
Yeah.
the Adelaide
So that
Plovers.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
we're
okay.
talking.
No, I can get
now
down
I'm
with that.
intimidated.
I can get down with that.
Bring that on.
I can get down
Okay.
with that. All right. So, yeah, good one. Good one. I'll roll with that. Number 5, I'm going the Swans. For exactly the same reason that you went with the Crows, Luke. If you could write down a list of the least intimidating birds on the planet, a swan is probably going to be on there. Known to be pretty and majestic,
Graceful.
kind of what you don't really need to be in AFL
Yeah.
football. The Swans... kind of doesn't scare me. Don't feel intimidation's not what I'm feeling.
Yeah, no, good. Well, in a similar vein, I suppose, with the last pick of the top 6 shit AFL team names, I sort of same sort of thing. I go aggressive felines, lions, tigers.
I know where you're going, and I totally.
I
agree.
love that lion. Yeah, absolutely. What a great team.
Yeah.
Tigers, love that.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
tigers.
that's-
Can get around it.
absolutely. There's some
Yep.
other sort of big cats that you could get around, maybe leopards or, cougars or cheetahs or something.
Yeah,
But to go number 6, cats.
yeah. I looked at
It's
it.
your household pet.
It's a
It's a
cat.
cat.
Like,
What a missed opportunity.
they're annoying.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. Missed opportunity. That's a perfect way to describe it. It's a missed opportunity. Out of all of the cool cats that could fuck you up, you picked
You
a
just went
house
cat. You just went, oh, cat. It's like an afterthought. It's like, all right, so tigers has taken, lions has taken, shit, what do we got to do? What are some of the other cats? Just pick one. Oh, okay, cats. And I went, yep, all right.
Yeah, that's right. They had a round table round table, 6 to 8 people, and they're all trying to think of the most badass cat, to the point where every single one of them named a different cat, and then they realised that half of them had already been taken, and they've just gone, any cat. Leave that to the imagination of the supporter.
The problem is, I just think of a fluffy little house cat.
Yeah, exactly.
So
again, not intimidating.
No. So we're going to get some heat because people that follow these teams. This is not an attack on you or the teams that you follow.
No, it's actually not. This is not as I prefaced this from the start. This is not about us disliking any AFL team. That might be a list for another time because I've got a few of them too. But this is not about that.
No.
This is just about when coming up with the names of these clubs after they'd picked the city that was going to host said club.
We could, we could expand this to global sports ads, but like we won't right now.
Oh,
there's one that comes to mind.
There's a lot.
There's one that comes to mind.
Oh, there's a clear front.
1, 2, 3. Pelicans.
Pelicans. Yeah.
Yes. New Orleans Pelicans. Come on, give me a fucking break.
Out of every fucking thing you could have picked, you landed on Pelican.
And the sad thing is, it's a relatively new club. So they thought
it is.
They could have got real creative with it. Just went, Pelicans.
It's like they looked out the window and just called the first
Pelican.
thing they saw. Pelican. Like, fuck, really?
Anyway, all right. So there you go. So top 6 shit AFL team names: Dockers, Blues, Saints, Crows, Swans, and Cats.
Solid top 6.
It's solid. Yeah, that's where it needs to be. Let us know. Yeah. What did we miss? Is there some that we've been harsh on? Tell us. Let us know.
Yeah.
Ads, we've got plenty of interaction again this week. We want to see it keep coming through because we absolutely love it. Thank you for the drink suggestions. I've really enjoyed that alcoholic ginger beer, Adam, tonight.
Yeah, me too. It's going down nicely. I'm right at the end, so it's lasted a solid session
episode
of the Deep Drop.
Okay.
I liked it.
It's a 1-can show for the ginger beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I loved your question, your hypothetical. Are you grabbing the rod? So I think we need some feedback from the community on this one, where everyone stands in that hypothetical situation of your mate's gone to the toilet and his rod goes off. What are you doing as the person near the rod? The Deep Drop Confessional, I really appreciate your time tonight, Adam, on that. I feel a lot better for it, but, I want to extend that out to the community. And if anyone's got anything to get off their chest, such as me in that situation, opening up about the fact that I'm shit with a baitcast outfit, we're here for it.
It's a safe space, and there's nothing but love and support from the Deep Drop community.
Absolutely. Shout out to Stiff Sticks. We'll have to look into that one, Ads. I wasn't familiar with the brand, but
but no. Shout out to Stiff Sticks for jumping on as a spono. Don't know how long you'll last, but it was an entertaining ad.
That's it. Noise on the water. Where do you sit with it? Is it something that you're careful about? You don't care at all, or you're on the opposite and you're like, make more noise. Let's fire this shit up.
Yeah. Give us a solid 1 to 10. 1 being don't give a shit at all. 10 being I essentially try and dress in camo and go.
Yeah,
full
that's
stealth.
not bad.
Hit us. Where are you on the spectrum?
Okay, good. All right, we'll call that out. And let us know with our top 6 how accurate we were. Were we on the money? Was it a miss? What did we miss out? And are we being harsh? Mate, that's just about us to wrap up. I mean, it's been a jam-packed show. All sorts of weird and wonderful things happened tonight. And I appreciate your time, Adam. Thank you very much. And we'll see everyone again real soon.
Peace.